Right. We will do the practicals given in your NIE practical handbook. So the first experiment is determination of EMF and R of a internal resistance of a dry cell. Right. And this is a circuit diagram that is given in the handbook. You can take, if you have this copy of this NIE handbook, you can give it with you. Right. So we'll have to write an equation. Now this is a diagram. The purpose is to find the electromotive force and the internal resistance of a dry cell. Right. So before going into the practical, I'll try to refresh how you have to write the equation. When there is a cell connected to a load, we have an EMF and the internal resistance R, and when you connect it to a load, it will start drawing a current. Right? So you know that the internal resistance, when the current starts flowing, there will be a drop across the internal resistance. That will be against the current that goes to. So the voltage drop here will be in the opposite direction than the electromotive force. Right? Then when I is flowing through R, again there will be a voltage drop. That is also opposing the current, and this is called the terminal voltage, V. Right? So if you write a relationship, right, you can use Kirchhoff law to write a relationship, and that will be the terminal voltage equal, this terminal voltage equal E minus IR. So you should be able to directly write this whenever there is a battery and it is discharging. That means discharging means its current is drawn from the battery. Right? So when the current is drawn from the battery, there will be a voltage drop across the internal resistance that will be opposing to the EMF. Therefore the terminal voltage is the voltage that appears across the terminals of a battery. The internal resistance is internal to the battery. Right? So therefore the terminal voltage is equal to E minus IR. Right? When current is equal to 0, V becomes E. Or when internal resistance is 0, V becomes E. So these are the two conditions. The terminal voltage becomes equal to EMF. On all other occasions, the terminal voltage will be E minus IR. Right? So when you see a discharging battery, you should be able to directly write this without writing all this Kirchhoff law and all that. Right? Because this is straightforward and all the time we have to do this. So take a note of this before going to the practical. Okay. Now I erase this portion. Now first of all we have to bring a relationship between these parameters. So now here we are using a voltmeter that is connected across the terminal of a battery. Then we have a fixed resistance and a variable resistance. So variable resistance is given as 0 to 100 ohm in your book, and this is 10 ohm. And EMF, it's a dry cell, so it can be 1.5 volts or 3 volts or whatever, right? Now, since there is an internal resistance and EMF, you can write an equation for the voltmeter. It is terminal voltage V equal E minus PR, right? Now, if you rearrange it, V equal minus IR, so minus R into I plus E. Now what we are going to do basically is, in order to find the internal resistance, we are going to change current and voltage, right? So we change the current and measure the voltage, and you know that EMF is a constant and internal resistance is a constant. So this is something like Y equal mx minus mx plus E, right? So if you draw a graph between voltage and current, that graph will go like this, and if you measure the slope is equal to internal resistance, M equal to R. Then this cutting point is E. So that is a mathematical derivation, right? So you know what are the parameters to be considered for drawing the graph. Y equal mx plus E. So the current is the x-axis and voltage is the y-axis. So we have to change current to measure the voltage. Now that is the arrangement that is given here. Now the current is changed by changing the series resistance Rs, right? And you are given a key. The purpose of the key is to avoid continuous flow of the current, right? So you press the key whenever you take a measurement, right? Then the internal resistance, you can see the arrangement. Series resistance can take values from 0 to 100. So in case accidentally you bring it to 0, if this fixed resistance is not there, the battery will be shorted, right? So that will damage the battery. Shorting means you just connect it without any resistance, right? So in case, imagine this is not present, R is not present, the series resistance is accidentally brought to 0 because it can variable resistance. It can be variable from 0 to 100. So accidentally if you bring it to 0, the circuit will be shorted. So there will be infinite current that is flowing. So that current is controlled. It won't be infinite because there is an internal resistance. But the internal resistance is the only element that is going to control the current, right? So in that case, battery will start heating up. So to avoid that only, we have a permanent resistance here, fixed resistance, right? So even if you bring it to 0, it doesn't matter, right? Now you are given a milliamp meter because we don't want to draw large current. We want to keep the current at a very low value in milliamps. So milliampere meter is more than enough. Then they say The apparatus given are a dry cell, a millimeter, a digital voltmeter, a rheostat. Now this variable resistor is a rheostat. A tap key, and connecting wires and 10 ohm resistor. This is a 10 ohm resistor. Now another important thing is they say the voltmeter is a digital voltmeter. Why we say digital voltmeter? Because we don't want the voltmeter resistance to come in parallel with the circuit resistance. So if the voltmeter has a finite resistance, it will influence, because it will also, voltmeter also will start drawing some current, right? So we will have to consider the current through the voltmeter also into your calculation. So to avoid that, we use a very large input resistance voltmeter. The voltmeters with high input resistance are digital voltmeters. Analog voltmeters use galvanometer. So when you use a galvanometer based voltmeter, it has to draw some current to indicate, right, the reading. But whereas in a digital voltmeter, there will be no current drawn from the circuit. It is only, it's almost the internal resistance of voltmeter, digital voltmeter is infinity, right? You can consider. So that is the reason why we use a voltmeter here, digital voltmeter here. So we will now take measurements. So they ask you to prepare a table. You can go through the book. They say a table with current milliamps and voltage reading in volts. So you are asked to. So you can change from say about 25 milliamps. So they are asking you to start with 25 milliamps, and then you find reading. Then you increase another in step of. Okay, they ask you to keep the internal resistance, so rheostat at the highest possible point. So highest possible is 100 ohm. So total resistance will be 110 ohm, right? So that is the minimum current, right? So they ask you to start with the minimum current, and then every time you reduce the rheostat resistance so that the current increases by 25 milliamps, right? So each time 25 milliamp steps you go with the current, and then measure the voltage and draw the graph. So when you draw the graph, you get the graph like this, and from the tangent or slope gradient you can find R, and then from the cutting point you can get EMFs, right? So that is the first practical. So you can read, the description is given in the book, and they are asking you to discuss the measures taken for safety of the apparatus and also the course of action taken to minimize the errors in the experiment. So to minimize the errors in the experiment, we are using digital voltmeter, right? Because we can neglect the current through that. Then to protect the apparatus, we are using a fixed resistance here, right? In addition to the rheostat, so that the maximum current is limited, right? So if you want, you can make a copy of this.